When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. The Mexican border is a sieve. People are pouring through our country, into our country. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. We don't know who they are, where they are. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. Many bad people are coming in. You're going to have terrorists coming through the southern border. There's no question about it. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
The border is a line that birds cannot see.
The border is a beautiful piece of paper, folded carelessly in half.
The border is where flint first met steel, starting a century of fires.
The border is a belt that is too tight, holding things up but making it hard to breathe.
The border is a rusted hinge that does not bend.
The border is a blood clot in the river's vein.
The border says stop to the wind, but the wind speaks another language and keeps going.
Border is a brand, the double X of barbed wire scarred into the skin of so many.
The border has always been a welcome stopping place, but is now a stop sign, always red.
The border is a jump rope still there even after the game is finished.
The border is a real crack in an imaginary dam.
The border used to be an actual place, but now it is the act of 1,000 imaginations.
The border. The word border sounds like order, but in this place, they do not rhyme.
The border is a handshake that becomes a squeezing contest.
This year, one particular wall has gotten a lot of our attention.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border. That's a Trump wall, beautiful wall. I will build the greatest wall that you've ever seen. If they ever put my name on, I want a gorgeous wall. You know? The Trump wall, oh, will that be a beautiful wall.
When Trump first started talking about this, he said it would cost a lot, but not a lot.
Let's say the wall costs $4 billion. You know, they say $10 billion. That means $4 billion, if you know what you're doing.
His estimate has grown.
The wall is going to cost $6 or $7 billion.
The wall's probably $8 billion. The wall gets built. It's going to cost $10 billion to build the wall. Okay, it's a lot of money. It's a wall. The wall's going to cost $10 billion. Maybe 12, depending.
Project that wall maintenance costs would exceed the initial construction costs within 7 years.
Mexican people, we are not going to pay any single cent for such a stupid wall.
I declare, I'm not going to pay for that f***ing wall. He should pay for it.
Michael Chertoff, then Secretary of Homeland Security, signed a document giving his department the authority to waive 36 laws to build the fence, including the Endangered Species Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, and the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. Native American leader explains.
Fragments of human remains were found in heavy equipment tracks on the Christian Ranch archaeological site, a site now crossed by barriers and the border road. Imagine a bulldozer in your family graveyard.
Look, Trump might well argue Having a wall is worth all of this because it will act as a fortress to stop people and drugs flowing across the border. But let's look at that, because the most recent authoritative estimate suggests nearly half of the unauthorised migrants in the US entered legally through a port of entry like an airport or a border crossing, usually with visas that they then overstayed. A wall can't stop that. It's like...
What the Border Patrol says, and I've spoken to a lot of their people, is look, first of all, if you build a 30-foot wall, all it's going to do is create a market for 31-foot ladders.
Of course! Watch as Donald Trump inadvertently stumbles his way into a key realisation.
So, you take precast plank, it comes 30 feet long, 40 feet long, 50 feet long. There's no ladder going over that. If they ever get up there, they're in trouble, because there's no way to get down. Maybe a rope.
Yeah. As for stopping drugs, walls and fences have not posed much of a challenge to cartels.
In Mexico, police have discovered a tunnel believed to have been used to smuggle drugs into the U.S.
Using this makeshift cannon, they were shooting packages, small packages of marijuana across the border. These men were actually using a catapult to launch drugs across the border.
Other smugglers have kept it a bit simpler than that. They just get somebody with a really good arm who throws it over the fence like a football.
OK, well, I will say, if they're looking for a new recruit, I know Peyton Manning is currently between jobs. This wall is about making us feel safer, and here is where the racism and xenophobia that we put aside at the top of this piece really needs to be brought back. Because while other politicians have supported barriers at the border, Donald Trump has been uncommonly clear about who we need to be protected from.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
About that. Because while, yes, individual undocumented immigrants have committed horrible crimes, so, obviously, have American citizens. And in fact, researchers consistently find that immigrants are less, not more, crime-prone than their native-born counterparts. The crime rates among immigrants once here are relatively tiny digits, which is